Well, it finally happened. We saw Zion Williamson in a Duke uniform. To be so famous at such a young age and to already be lauded as one of the most explosive, unthinkably athletic humans ever to pick up a basketball, we really didn't have a ton to go on in terms of real dissectible hoops action from Zion Williamson. A lot of his organized action leading up to his eminent college career was footage of him dominating guys that looked like my high school team, which is to say schlubby, unathletic, and small, and AAU games where he seemed to be constantly in transition. It was just hard to gauge totally. Against Ryerson of Canada, we'd finally get a glimpse of high-flying Zion in some structure. Granted, the competition was not great, so the context of what Zion does will look a little different when Duke finally tips off the regular season on November 6th in the Champions Classic against Kentucky. Anyway, let's overreact a little bit. Come on, it'll be fun. If you didn't get to see the game, let's be blunt up front. Zion was every bit as spectacular as expected. You've been living on an Amish settlement for 4 years if you were surprised by that. Zion is a Humvee with a McLaren engine dropped in. In this game, we saw more than one instance of Zion taking 1 or 2-ish steps and doing things that other humans just cannot do. This play in particular was astonishing because he doesn't even appear to be running all that hard.
Surprise, motherfucker!
In some ways, his "what the hell did I just see" explosiveness takes me back to another Duke guy that people sometimes forget about, Corey Maggette. As I wrote that down, Jay Billis must have been thinking the same thing because he brought it up during the broadcast. More importantly, it revealed something that I had suspected before I even watched this game. Zion could be the most effective rebounder in college basketball this season if he wants to be. His athleticism and his build are just so unusual. In a way, his gait kind of reminds me of Jaylen Brown in that he has this developed, thick body. There's just no real precedent for Zion. He grabbed a few out-of-area rebounds. Granted, Ryerson was horrendous about blocking out. That were like cover-your-mouth moments. He's going to be able to keep possessions alive just with that ability to get to balls that other people can't. He did it a couple times in this game. Zion's abnormal body control, ability to gracefully contort and wiggle through defenders while in the air was on full display. He's got enough lift to jump and glide under a defender and still make it to the rim. You can see that he loves to do this on the other side, although he seems to always use his left hand. This guy is bored when he's in the air. He actually cocks the ball back after he catches this tip. That's some Gerald Green, Blake Griffin, Vince Carter, Dominique Wilkins, literal rarefied air next level shit. He even cocked the ball back when he took off from the free throw line the other day, which is the real reason why that clip was so impressive. Plenty of guys can go from the foul line, but lots of these guys are reaching forward or at least holding the ball at like 1 or 2 o'clock or doing like a Statue of Liberty. Zion did the LeBron style cup and cockback, and I have successfully said cockback in this video more times than Theon Greyjoy's subconscious. Dunks are nice. They're exciting. Hooray for the marvels of the physical human construct and all that stuff. More importantly for Duke is the fact that Zion's nimbleness and off-the-charts 1 and 2-step jumping ability mean that they are well within their right mind to play Zion at the 5, and this is something that I sorely want to see them do. This makes sense to me for a few reasons. First of all, Zion's ball skills and playmaking ability are more promising and potentially dangerous on offense than I'd originally forecasted. It gives Duke another ball handler on the floor, which in turn gives them more spacing, which in turn gives guys like Cam Reddish and RJ Barrett more space to attack their man or attack switches. Second, it takes some of their underskilled guys off the floor. Bolden seems like one of the more mis-scouted guys in a while, and it's possible that he becomes a competent rebounder and a threat to score from 8 feet away and closer, but his negatives are just too great if you consider what they could be swapped for by putting Zion at the 5. It also allows Duke to get another shooter on the floor, which for me is an oft-expressed concern about their upcoming season. I still think that teams are going to zone Duke all year though, because I have questions about their shooting in that 2-3-4 spot. Third, it makes Duke's cumulative mobility as a unit supremely faster and more versatile. Anyone in that Jones, Reddish, Barrett, Zion lineup can get it off the rim and get in transition, and that 5th guy could be an extra spacer. I personally would go with Alex O'Connell. Lastly, Zion is the best rim protector on the roster, and he'll likely be the best transition shot blocker in the country this year. And if you guys can think of a better one, let me know. He gets up so quickly and closes out on the ball so violently that I'm almost concerned. Like there's a point where his safety seems to be in jeopardy on some of these blocks. I really hope that the kid stays healthy. In terms of rotationally knowing where he should be and positionally guarding the ball, he's in about the same boat as every incoming college freshman. That is, learning a lot about effort and footwork early on, but his motor isn't totally in question, and it'll be a shock to me if he just completely struggles in that sense. And he also showed some good signs closing out on shooters. The biggest and most valid concern about Zion is the shooting, and I think that's the thing that could prevent him from being like a superstar. It'll continue to be a talking point over the rest of the season, and I'm sure we'll check back in on it. In short, Zion made open threes against Ryerson, going 3 for 4, but I still have my concerns. I don't expect Zion to ever be much of a versatile guy though as a shooter. It lacks soft flight, arch, and rotation, and frankly it's still looking flat even though he's made some adjustments. He also still lacks touch, and he still looks like he's shooting the ball to the left side of his face. He seems like he'll always be one of those I'm wide open so I should, or we're out of time and I have to type of three-point shooter, and his lack of rhythm in this sense makes me wonder if he'll ever be much of a threat shooting in the mid-range off the dribble. In this sense, he really does remind me of Julius Randle. He's Julius Randle with rockets for legs, and Randle was a double-double machine in college. I expect the same thing from Zion at Duke, and let me know if you agree. Hey folks, I appreciate you watching, and if you like this video, click the like button and be sure to subscribe. You can also follow me on Twitter at @JKyleMann. Say hey.